Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning into our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We're glad that you all could be with us as well. When I say the name Melba Moore, of course, probably the first thing that comes to your mind is great music. We're so excited to welcome her for the very first time here to Conversations Live to talk about her extraordinary career, what it's been like for her to impact lives literally around the world, and even this year with a single you guys are already hearing, So in Love, from her new project. We'll talk to her about that, and of course that you guys know how to stay connected with her. Ms. Moore, thank you so much for the honor. Really appreciate the time.
Well, thank you for having me, Cyrus. Thank you so much.
So I have to say this, my mom's going to be very jealous that I get a chance to talk to you, as she typically is, that I'm able to talk to someone that she has loved over the years. But you have such an extraordinary fan base, Ms. Moore, and people who have followed your career have been reintroduced to your music. What has that been like for you to be able to do what you love and to have people enjoy it as much, too?
I am so grateful, first of all, for the longevity, for the faithfulness, for many things I just really can't put into words right now, because it's just so exciting, because it's not afforded to everybody, and it's a part of your life, you know. And with us going through such a pandemic and the massacres, and we're so blessed just to be alive. So to have that kind of, it's like cream on the top of a really good cake.
Yeah. And you have been able to. Yeah, you have been able to, Ms. Moore, to do something else that I think says so much, and that is to be able to connect with people. And we see it in the way that people talk about you. We see it in the way that people engage with you on Instagram. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But what has that been like for you to have these different generations that have such a respect for you as well as for your music?
I am amazed. But to me, it's what life should be about, but very often is not. And especially in electronics, you're connected, but you may not be. But right. I actually get a chance to see, because it is electronic, see people express themselves without having to be there. It's experiencing this new age where, I think we used to be like door-to-door salesmen, and now, you click a button and you can be in touch with people around the world. It's really quite amazing in a lot of ways.
Right. I think that is such a great point. We're going to talk about the new album, Imagine, and the impact of it, Ms. Moore. But I want to begin with actually your career, because, as I said, people know you for great music. Have you always known that was your gift?
No, but now that I've had some time to look back, I see that it is in my DNA. My mother was a professional singer, so I have it from her. She did not marry my father, but my natural father was a very famous big band leader by the name of Teddy Hill. He also ran Mitten's Playhouse, which became a hub for all the great jazz musicians that actually created what was called modern jazz at the time, and bebop. And so it's in my DNA. And then my mother married my stepfather, who was a musician, and he made me and my stepsister and brother take piano lessons, so I became intimately acquainted with music. So I've always been involved in music, and now I look back, I see it's in my DNA. But I never had an idea, I'm going to be great, I'm going to be a singer. No. The answer is no.
Yeah. Well, that is exactly what has happened. And the longevity that you mentioned earlier is something that I think people really appreciate. And you have been able to garner, Ms. Moore, not only fans of music, but also your fellow artists who sing your praises, who talk about the impact. What has that been like for you to know that you've been able to inspire other artists in their own careers?
Well, they inspire me.
Wow.
I am such a fan of Patti LaBelle's, and Gladys knows I adore her. And I have a picture of me and Aretha, because she just gave me a nice little coat, because she knew I just adored her. So right. I know what it's like, because I'm a fan of other people, and there are many others that I'm a fan of. So I'm very grateful. I don't think of it that way, when you ask me the question, my mind immediately goes to who I'm a fan of and how I feel.
Right. I understand that. Yeah. And that again goes to the grace that you have and the gratitude that you've shown for your career. I mentioned, of course, the single that's getting attention here in my home state, Miss Moore, So in Love. Of course, it's off of your new project, Imagine. It was posted in May, something I want to share with our audience from the UK. Congratulations to Melba Moore. Her brand new album, Imagine, is this week's UK Soul Chart #1. What was it like for you to see that, how your new music is still continuing to strike a chord and people are gravitating to that music like the new album, Imagine?
I am amazed because I've never had a #1 album. This is the first.
Wow. So
I would say, like you're saying, wow, but I wanted to just explain to you so you can really experience this with me. This is amazing.
Talk to us about Imagine, Miss Moore. What do you think it is about this album?
Well, I think it really kind of tells my journey. I didn't think of it. My daughter brought it to me over a period of last couple of years, song by song, because she was saying that her Uncle Bo Huggins, which is my ex-husband's brother, so I don't really have anything to do with them, so I don't have a relationship with them, had these songs for me. I said, well, so? She says, Ma, you should listen to the songs. And so she brought me one by one. I said, well, they're beautiful, but I don't have a label right now. I don't have a company. I don't have any mechanism to do anything with these songs. I don't have them, but we're not, our families are not in business together anymore. So she said, well, Uncle Bo wants you to take this song, learn it, go in the studio, and when we come out, see what you think of it. And we liked it, so she kept bringing me more songs and more songs. And over a period of about 2 years, we realized we had a whole album. And then, we decided, okay, well, let's have your Uncle Bo sequence it. Let me see what it sounds like as an album. And I was quite amazed. I said, my God, that's me? Because none of the songs were things that I would have picked, because I probably would have done, something the same thing I had been doing for the last 20 years or whatever. But they were all fresh, new ideas from different songwriters and producers that they thought might be good for me. So I think it's a reflection of who I am and other people, which I think in some ways is a better vision of who you are. So I think it's so good because I didn't have that much to do with it. They really did it.
Well, I want to focus on something you just said, because you said it almost in passing, but I want our audience to think about this. You said 20 years. And I think when we think about that in your industry, that is more than a lifetime. And it kind of goes back to what you said, Ms. Moore, about the longevity that you've been able to have. What do you think has been the biggest change for you in that amount of time?
Continuing to reinvent, listen to God, and let Him tell you every day, make me ahead. You come and ask me every day what you're supposed to do. And then, over a period of time, you look back and see what has happened. What has happened is I've fallen off and I've come back again, and I keep getting up, and I keep getting up, and I keep getting up. So now people say that I'm resilient.
Yeah.
So you keep getting up, but I don't think you can do that on your own.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned what other people say. What that reminded me of, Miss Moore, and I have to give a shout out to Mr. Angelo Ellerby at Double Exposure Media Relations for setting this chat up. When he asked me, he said, how would you like to speak to Ms. Moore? And I said, really? Because, you are one of those artists that I think we have in such high esteem. Of course, I follow you on Instagram like others do, tens of thousands of others do as well. But I was so excited about this, but it reminded me of an interview you did a few years ago, Ms. Moore, with Shondaland. And you talked about that resilience. And I love what you just said there, and I hope our audience caught that you don't think you can do that by yourself. How much has your faith played a role in your being able to be here today with the #1 album?
It's total faith, because this person that's on this album is completely me, but you can't see yourself from inside. So if you're going to try to do it and you're going to call all the shots, you're going to miss a whole lot of who you are, because people, you can't see that. Only other people can see that because they're in another perspective. Yeah. But it's very important to somehow be able to especially if you've had some longevity, maybe even if that's not the case, but it's time to make a change, how are you going to know what the change is going to be? Well, some people do know. Most of us don't. We need to hear from others around us and try to make some decisions. And I think that's where success comes from, because you learn to discern, you learn to use your intuition, your other gifts, besides your opinions,
right.
to figure out what the right decisions are for you to make along the pathway of life. And it's your life. It's not just your work or just whatever it is you're focused on. There's always more to it than whatever it is you can observe. So I'm not sure all of what it is, but you have to stay open somehow.
And you've been able to do that, and definitely the work has paid off. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, is on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. I have the one and only Miss Melba Moore joining us for today's conversation. We're talking with her about her extraordinary career, also her brand new album, already a #1 album this year, Imagine. And from that album comes songs like So in Love. When you heard that song, did you know that there was something special about So in Love?
Yeah, once I heard it on some decent equipment, because all I was listening to at first was on my phone. You can't hear the middle range and the bottom and all the inner part. I'm starting to skip words because it excites me to listen to it. The instrumental part of the arrangement is beautiful, and how this starts with the boom, 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 the first drum beat. And then the bass line comes in. Before I even come in it, I would buy that song, but I didn't know who it was, and before I heard the singer. The music is so beautiful to me.
So that's why I really want our audience to really take in this single, So in Love. Make sure you guys do get it. We got it through our friends at Amazon.com. You can get it through your favorite online retailer. Ms. Moore, I can't let you leave without talking about Instagram. I mentioned it earlier. Talk to us about that and what that real-time excitement has been like in communicating with your fans.
Oh, that's amazing, because, first of all, you can do it on such a large scale.
Yeah.
And second of all, with things being so huge, it keeps the intimacy intact.
And I think for our audience out there, and as I mentioned at the time we're having this conversation, Ms. Moore, you have over 143,000 followers over there on Instagram. So
my God, I guess it's not intimate anymore, huh?
Hey, well, Ms. Moore, I guess in relation to the entire world, I guess it is an intimate number.
Well, everything is relative. Not everything, but that is, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely we want our audience to continue to grow that audience. So make sure you guys head over to Instagram. You can find her at Melba, the #1 Moore. And we will be putting that on our Facebook page as well for you guys. Melba, the #1 Moore is where you all can find her there on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following her for all the great updates and all the great photos as well. Ms. Moore, I can't tell you again how excited I am about this opportunity and for you to be a part of this. Thank you so much for the years of great music. Thank you so much for showing us what's possible. And I look forward to having you back on the program again.
Oh, thank you so much. I look forward to being there again. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.